Okay, everybody, welcome to our recorded webinar for Accountability with Axiom update for May 2022. I'm Ed Cunningham, Director of Product at Eduphoria. I'm joined with Amber Jones from Region 10.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Today, we're going to be talking about Axiom. We're going to talk about what it is, how to get it, how we've updated it for 2022, and where you can find resources available. So let's go ahead and get started.
All right, so just briefly, I know that some of you guys are current users, some of you will be new users of Axiom. So Ed and I just wanted to give you a brief overview and kind of highlight the differences between what you have already in Aware and what you will get if you have the Axiom module add-on. So in Axiom, obviously, you're going to have a more robust accountability projection. So you get overall and each of the domain scores. Those would be for your overall district and your campuses based on the available data. So we'll talk a lot more about what's in there and then what you have to do some manual, but you will get those projections. You also get a lot of different reports, some custom graphs, reports, student level data, options for easy creation of monitor groups that integrate into Aware. So a lot more robust ability to use your accountability data to set yourself up for improvement for the following school year.
We do have in Aware a free report available to all Aware users, campus and district level data viewers, or access our Domain 1 data table report. This is just Domain 1. It uses the exact same logic and coding that the Domain 1 projections for Axiom use, but without all of the, of course, extra features related to accountability projections that Axiom provides. Whether or not you are accessing our accountability data through Axiom or through the Aware report, we want to remind everybody that only the Texas Education Agency can assign campus and district ratings and distinctions. These are only meant to be early projections based on available data. We want to emphasize that it is important. Third-party projections should not ever be presented publicly to the school board or to anybody else public. They're for internal use only. These are meant to be projections so you can get started on those conversations before those formal ratings are published.
All right, so how do I get Axiom, or do I have it? So we wanted to stop and talk just a little bit about access to Axiom. Reminder that because of our recent years where we have had interrupted STAR data sets, we have had paused accountability for the last couple of years. Axiom was provided as a trial to all users for Aware last year. So some of you saw the trial features where we just included the domain and student achievement access. So, still a little bit of functionality, but it's returning to its fully functional. So if you have it, it would be an add-on that you've purchased with Aware. There is a tab that would be enabled once that license is enabled. It lives right under the Analyze tab in Aware. If you think you should have it and you're not seeing it, if you don't have it and you would like a quote or a trial, you can reach out to sales@eduphoria.net. Ed's going to talk to you a little bit later about how you set up the access and management so that you can set that up for the users in your domain. But any of those inquiries about whether you have the application, because of the kind of staggered purchasing and things like that we did in the last couple of years, there may be a little confusion about the licensing and things like that. And you guys can absolutely reach out to Eduphoria and get that cleared up. Okay. So we also just wanted to kind of provide just a brief accountability system overview here on the screen. Just a reminder, the purpose of this webinar is not an accountability update. Each of the service centers have accountability experts that have been sharing what the 22 academic accountability system is going to look like, and all of those changes. They're still being finalized in the accountability manual and things like that. But you can kind of see there's not a ton of changes. We do have a few on the next slide here that we just wanted to highlight. and make you guys aware that as the accountability manuals change each year, Axiom updates. So these will be the things that would be different. If you have accountability questions specifically, or have specific questions about your particular campus or district, you would definitely want to send those to your accountability expert at the service center. Jennifer Hood is the accountability person at Region 10, so she consults with us on Axiom to make sure that the tool functions in the way that the accountability system is intended. And then she will also be co-hosting the Region 10 webinars, where we kind of talk about the next year's how to use Axiom as it really was intended, which was an intervention planning tool. So what are we going to do about accountability for the following year? What targeted groups, things like that. So here are the changes that you see to the 22 accountability system. A little bit of change on the label. So we went from D and F to not rated for campuses and districts, domains. There is no retest or the standalone writing test. We saw some changes to assessment this year. There will be some in-person and virtual accountability reporting in August here. And then if you see down there that fall of 22, those virtual ratings, there's not really any interventions or sanctions. It's just reporting. And then the growth is going to compare that 21 to 22 reading and math. So obviously with the interrupted STAR in previous years, there was no way to do growth. So that's being added back. And we've got the multiple year methodology for EL proficiency. And again, we're not spending a lot of time talking about this. So if you have questions about accountability, then talk to your accountability person at your ESC.
All right, so I'm going to run you through the steps. First of all, what is in Axiom, and a little bit about setting Axiom up. So that's going to be the bulk of the rest of this webinar. For starters, setting up Axiom, there is a right for aware called Analyze Accountability Data. This right can be set up for principals, for like building campus level, and it can be set up for whole district. Whether this right is set up for district or campus is what determines whether or not you're able to manage Axiom. District level users, given this right, are able to manage Axiom. Campus level users, meaning they have one or several campuses, but not the whole district, not that little green check, are able to access it for their campuses, but not able to manage it. We have a limited access option as a part of setup. District level users who manage Axiom are able to limit the access to Axiom for all other users until all data files have been loaded in and campuses configured. This is an important step that was added last year based off of user feedback, because we know that people are anxious to get in there and start looking at things even when all their data have not been loaded in. And so district level managers have the ability to check this box. I highly recommend checking this box early before the data files come in, so that nobody is able to go in and look at an incomplete projection report. Also part of setup, Axiom only can use final STAR files. It cannot use these preliminary files that are first available for districts. Those files are great for loading into Aware to quickly be able to access performance level data, but they do not include the information necessary for accountability related projections. So we recommend that Axiom managers also be the ones who upload files just normally into Aware, because Axiom actually just uses those same files. You're able to click that View Data Files button to see which files have been loaded in, so that you can audit which ones might be missing, and you can reload them. There is a Recalculate All Data button. This is the button that runs the process to reconfigure all of Axiom for every other user. So anytime you make any changes to campuses or to new data files loaded in, this Recalculate All Data button must be pushed. It only needs to be pushed one time. It runs in the background, and then that will update it so that the next time somebody accesses Axiom, the information has been updated and reconfigured. Because Aware does not have any data in it outside of assessment data loaded in from STAR files, it's missing data related to graduation rates, to CCMR, and to that economically disadvantaged percent from the fall snapshot. And so district level managers need to go in and set up the campus type for each campus, and they need to manually type in the economically disadvantaged percentage from that fall snapshot score that is available to district level folks in state systems. You also need to manage your CCMR and graduation rate data and the other components related to domain 3. This information is not yet available to people in the teal reports. Those will be made available in, I believe, June, July. However, preliminary data may already be available in the CCMR verifier that TEA offers. You'll have to go in there and check that, but I believe that those are available now. Axiom does require manual data entry for this information for all schools and districts that have graduation rates and CCMR. If you do not input this information, but the campus is configured as a high school, for example, that campus will be looking for this information and will not provide an accurate projection because it will be missing the data. All right, everyone in Axiom, campus or district level, has access to an overview of Axiom. That is an overall score, as well as the domain 1, best of domain 2, and domain 3 score. You also have a number of reports available. Now, these scores, as I said before, are available based on available data. People with more than one campus available to them also have a campus selector where they can go from one campus to the next. District level people also have access to district level projections. We have various reports and projections available. So here's a screenshot of all of them. I'm not going to run through all the parts of accountability, but as you can see on the screen, from the middle, we've got domain 1. On the top right, we have domain 2A and domain 2B. That's why it's kind of small, because we had to put both of them in there. And on the bottom right, we have domain 3, closing the gaps. We have a variety of reports available in Axiom for different needs based on feedback that we've received from districts for why they need projection data at different points in time, especially earlier on in the summer. So we have a domain summary. This is great for when you need one report of all the domains for all the campuses in the district at once. You can dump it into Excel or print it out as a PDF so that you just have this all in one spot. You don't have to recreate this somewhere else. This is something you can bring to a planning meeting, internal only, not for external eyes, to kind of discuss what the early projections might be saying. We have a custom star summary report. This is very useful for creating presentations. Again, I've got some asterisks on this on the slide. Internal presentations only for when it's understood by everybody in the room that these are meant to be projections based on available data. These are not final ratings. We have an all accountabilities report for just when you have to have that PDF. Sometimes you just got to have that PDF. And so you can just click one button, go fix yourself some coffee. And when you come back, the report might have generated with the entire campus count and district all in one file. And then of course we have a performance versus progress graph, which is kind of a cool bubble that compares the two. For student monitoring, this is really, in my opinion, the most valuable resource in Axiom. This is the gift that keeps on giving even into the school year once final accountability ratings have been assigned and the Axiom ratings are no longer necessary. This is an incredibly cool tool that allows you to filter among all of your student results for accountability related data, but also not accountability related data. Every single tester, whether they were an A or an O code, can be filtered now in this tool. If they were included in the accountability subset, or maybe they were not included in the accountability subset, you're able to use these filters to get to a list of students that include demographic data and also performance and progress data. And you can use these for various monitor groups in AWARE. So think of things like House Bill 4545 or various intervention and enrichment needs. You can create these student monitor groups district-wide or campus-wide, and those monitor groups will be available in AWARE for all future data analysis needs. So this right here is really the ultimate tool for Axiom, and it's the one, like I said, that provides value into the school year. All right, we're going to conclude with talking about resources. How do I get information? If you have any questions related to how do I use Axiom, I just ran through a whole lot of stuff very quickly. We have a robust online help guide available for all software related needs. We have a variety of articles there that explain everything that you need to know to manage and access Axiom.
on the Region 10 Axiom user site, we will also be providing content for you guys. As I mentioned before, and as Ed so eloquently put, the great thing about Axiom is it is not just a tool for you guys to use this summer, it is a tool for you to be able to use all throughout the school year. So as Jenny and I do webinars, those will be posted on the Region 10 Axiom user site, registration links, things like that, as well as some helpful videos and tutorials. As Ed mentioned earlier, some of your Axiom will require some manual entry for your high schools that require graduation and CCMR data. We've uploaded some tutorials for how to do that. If you are new to Axiom and you've not done that process before, there are some helpful videos as well as past webinars, so that you can go back and kind of see how we have had guidance on how to use Axiom in the past years. Like I said, we will continue to update those, so those continue to be useful resources, and as well as it has our contact information if you need one-on-one help from our support staff.
All right, we thank you for your time and have a good summer.